Hey guys, a few of you were wondering how I did the blood splat, so this is a little behind the scenes just to show my process and how I went about it. So here's my scene here. Obviously you can see no blood splats, and if I try and grab a blood splat decal, so this is what I'm using for all the splats, just these 2D decals that I can move around my scene like this. If I try and put one on the glass, you'll notice I can't. And I have no idea if you can do this or not in Unreal Engine, but I have not found a way to put decals on translucent surfaces. So to get around that, this was my process. So I made a new level sequence, and in this you'll notice the material on this part of the hallway is different. So I have a material switcher, and I have changed this part of the hallway to a subsurface material. So why did I make it a subsurface material? Well, I did that so that in comp, I can tell comp to look for only subsurface materials and I can make it transparent. That'll become apparent later. So yeah, you can see I just went absolutely nuts with the decals here, just adding heaps all along. And then basically I just rendered this pass out. So it's like the normal thing, but without the characters in it, okay? Now that I've got that render inside of After Effects, you can see that here. I didn't bother rendering with light, so I left it unlit because I wanted this to be stylized, so lighting didn't really matter. My next step was to tell After Effects to only look at the parts with the blood in it. I don't want the rest of this, I only want the blood so I can have full control over it. So, because we made this white a subsurface material, I can use an extractor node, and I can put that on there and tell it to look for the subsurface material only that I've exported on its own layer in an EXR. And this is what that looks like. So obviously all the white values are what you're going to see. So then I simply duplicated this, took the extractor off, so just got the raw render, and I track matted it to that. And there you go. So right now all we've done is we've sort of pulled the blood out, but we still have the dojo and the foreground in there. So I want to get rid of that as well. So the next step is to pre-comp these together, jump into a new composition, and we're going to bring that comp in. So that's what this one is here. Now, what I also did was, obviously we only want the blood. So you could manually mask this out for those frames, but I decided to just render a crypto matte as well. And that looks like this. And then you can go in with the crypto matte and you can select the materials that you want to use as your track matte. So I only want this part of the building to be tracked. So I can set that to matted colors, grab the pre-composition we just made, and track matte that to the crypto, and there we go. Now if I turn this on, you'll see that we've pulled the blood out of our render, and now this is exactly what we want because we're not messing around with tracking anything. We've got it on its own layer. So now what I can do is I can jump into my comp final and I can bring that layer in. So you can see that here if I solo that out. There it is. I'll turn this off now as well. So what I did now was I just masked it, a little animation on the mask just to make it splat out a little bit, and that's it. If I turn that off, it looks like that. Put some hue and saturation on there and bring it in, and there's the stylized effect. And it's so stylized because it wasn't rendered with lighting. It is more painterly that way, in my opinion. And then to tie it all together, we brought in the blood splat effects as well. So that's a very simple stock effect that I found online. I got this off footagecrate.com, and yeah, you can see that's what that looks like. It was actually a green screen effect. So yeah, I just got rid of the green, added some hue and saturation to bring the colors up, and then just added a simple mask so that it looks like it's not clipping through the ground. And then it just, you can't even see it with the feathering. It goes straight into the other red there, and that's pretty much it. On top of that, I added in some blood mist, so I just duplicated this same asset a couple times and put that behind the main splat. So all together, that's sort of what that looks like, so it all ties in nicely in the scene. Yeah, and then that is pretty much how we ended up with this effect here. And then I also went in and added some extra little pre-comp here. So if I open this up, I just grabbed our guy and I just yeah, pulled him apart a little bit with some masks and so forth. And then I just gave that a very slight animation over these couple of frames. And that's it. And if you're wondering how I got the blood to be behind our main character here, I just did exactly the same technique with pulling the blood out. I just used a crypto matte. So I just went in, crypto matted, and was able to put this character in front with the character crypto matte, which is this one here. So you can see I used that for the sword and for him, and then I attached our main render to that and pulled it to the front of the composition. And that's basically how we got the blood effect. So I hope that, yeah, I hope that helps you guys, and congrats to everyone that submitted a render.